morning, world. It is January 14th, 2025. So far, I have not written 2024 mistakenly on anything.
I have.
Episode 30 of Grit and Good News. And it's moments past noon here in Waxahachie, Texas, in our palatial second store studio across the street from the Waxahachie Sun, in the shadows of the Ellis County Courthouse. And I'm your co host, Jeff Lynch, and it gives me great pleasure, pride, and honor to introduce my friend and yours, Scott Brooks.
Thank you, Bud. Hello, everybody. It is a warmer day today. It is Tuesday, and we're excited to be back. It's always, we do these shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, and just as soon as Tuesday show's over, we start thinking about what Thursday's set going to look like. And and then we have this break of the holidays, of the weekend. So I like the way we're set up. I really do.
It's a good flow. Good
Yeah,
flow.
it
Yeah.
is. We got a lot to talk about today. Before we get to that, though, I want to tell you you can find us again every Tuesday and Thursday on the channel that you're watching us on right now. We're on almost every platform. The only one that we're not on live right now is TikTok. TikTok takes a little while. You can't just automatically go live on TikTok, so you got to go through some hoops, and we're going through those still. So, but we're excited that you're here. We love this show. We love talking to each other. We are great pals, and we just like sharing our thoughts, and we like to hear about your thoughts. So feel free to respond to us either in your comments. You can also call us. You know that number?
Of course, I do. 972-268-9441. I have it memorized.
Is it up there, Sammy?
972
Yeah.
Yep.
268-9441. And guess what else? So much of our listenership, viewership is people who are watching it after the fact. And so you already know that's the deal.
Yeah.
And on our three primest, which are YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, those are the ones you can go back and see
Right.
past
We
episodes.
really on Facebook we have over 1,000 people that watch the show later on, which is why what's interesting is that we know people are watching, and then it's one of those things where like Nielsen ratings, the shows on television are all about ratings, and they'll sell their mother out to get a high number of ratings. We look at some of them say, well, the number of comments you get will show how many people are watching, but when we have 95% of the people that are watching us, and it's over over thousands of people, over 1,000 people. That's why the comments, they're not able to comment.
Right.
Which we
Did you in your life growing up ever get your family selected to do the Nielsen ratings?
You know what? That I don't think so.
We had it
And
happen
they put them in a
once.
little device in your house, right? Is
Oh,
that how
well,
they did it?
back when we did it,
No.
you had this log to fill out, and you had to
Oh,
keep track of every person that watched every show. It was a very laborious and pain in
really?
the rear end process.
Yeah. Today,
Yeah.
I think they put a device,
Okay, cool.
hook it to your TV or whatever.
I bet it's more accurate today than it used
I
to
would
be.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because having to keep a log wouldn't be any fun. All right. So,
Yeah.
a number of things we're going to talk about, and not in any specific order, but we're going to talk about the Cowboys. I never cease to be amazed by the Cowboys, and I've been a fan. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas,
Heidi?
and for how many years now has Jones owned this? Since 89.
89.
Never cease to be amazed. But we'll talk about that in just a few minutes because we're going to be doing our NFL update picks, and we're going to be doing our NCAA. We're going to make that call because that game is on Monday. There's only one of us in the room.
That's a quick call to
There's
make.
only one of us in the room that has legitimately chosen one of the teams in the finals.
The mother of our Lord's University.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But there's so much going on in America today, and so we're going to do this in rapid fire. Again, if you have any comments or ideas or suggestions or what you think about what's going on in the world, please tell us because we love those as well. We do get comments. I get emails, I get texts from people, and I'm like, well, just say it there. And
Yeah.
whatever it is about the shy, you go to you go to X and you see all these comments, and you immediately have to go want to take a shower because it is not nasty in terms of not naked girls and all that stuff. It's just nasty because it's so mean.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't deal with this. But anyway, people are typically shy and going on here. I'm like, just what you're texting me, say it there so everybody can see it. Anyway, we have cabinet hearings going on. They all started today, not all of them, but most of them start today and tomorrow. And I want to talk about that in just a second. We got fires out in California. We really haven't talked much about what we think of those things. And then we want to talk about some best of the streaming shows. I could say, when I say we, I'm talking about my wife and I are addicted to streaming series. And Jeff and Rita watch some as well. So we're going to talk about a little bit about those. But have you watched any of the cabinet hearings? Probably not today, because
Negatory.
you've been at school,
I've been
you're
busy
doing your poem
teaching, and let
stuff.
me tell
Yeah,
you what. I had second grade today, and we produced some nice poetry from second
did
graders. It
you?
was beautiful
That's
experience.
awesome.
Yeah,
Well, the cabinet hearings started today, and the most volatile, the most entertaining are going to be Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. They are going to include when Kash Patel to head the FBI comes up, and those hearings get going. Those will be entertaining, and I think probably those will be entertaining in a positive sense, and I'll explain why in just a minute. The one that I think could be entertaining in a I don't know, not feel so good sense will be Tulsi Gabb. Uh, but I watched a little bit this morning of Hegseth, and what I found is what I believed that would happen is happening, and that is you got a 44-year-old, highly energetic. Uh, he's not a frat boy, but he certainly has, he's got the swagger and he's got the smarts and
with a strong military
he's got a
background.
great military background. He's made some mistakes. He's, got all kinds of things he's been accused of, which happens with the left in any, whether it's Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court or whether it's Defense Secretary, whatever. All these folks are going to come out and really defame, in this case, Hegseth. But what's happening is that Hegseth is on the right, from the right, the questions from the right, which is this is a senator, it's an armed forces committee, all made up of senators that get to have 5 minutes each for questioning and they go back and forth. So this morning I was watching it as we were preparing for the show, and just the questions regarding the military and what he would do as defense secretary and leading 3 million people. That's how many people fall
Right.
under the auspice of the defense secretary. He's spot on and he knows his stuff. I mean, he knows his stuff. Unlike any of these guys who've held the job before, he knows his stuff.
The cream does rise.
Yes. What's happening when the questions go over to the left is all about, like, I listen to Tim Kaine, that god awful, you know, piece of, about as exciting as a piece of plaster, senator from Virginia, who's known mainly because he was Hillary Clinton's vice presidential candidate or nominee back in the day. Uh, for 5 minutes, just ask Hegseth not anything about the military, but ask him, did you cheat on your second wife? Did you have a baby with third wife? And all this salacious stuff. And Hegseth, one of the things he's got to show is as a potential, hey, Terry, good to see you, or good to have you here, bud. One of the things he's got to show is this temperament. You can't be
How do you hold up?
he held up well. I think he said what he needed to say with his body language, and that is just in some ways laugh. When a senator who wouldn't know defense from defense is kind of
Or a picket fence.
or ethics from a hole in the ground is questioning Hegseth. Hegseth he understands what they're doing and what they're up to, so he's handled himself well. But when it comes to the straight up military questions, whether it's the geography, ammunitions, uh, armory or armament, uh, he knows his stuff. Strategy. I mean, this guy is really impressive. And as far as it relates to his mistakes in life, he said today, he said, "Look, I made mistakes." I could hear myself saying the very same thing. I have said it. I have made mistakes in my life a long time ago, and I am redeemed as a follower of Jesus Christ. He said that this morning. And so, what these senators who, again, Elizabeth Warren, Macy Hirono from Hawaii, Blumenthal, Now, if you think of this, Blumenthal, if you remember his record, he was proven to stolen valor. He said he was served in Vietnam, I think it was, when he never served in Vietnam. And he's questioning Hegseth to be secretary about being Secretary of Defense and come up with this accusation you're not qualified to lead 3 million people because he's never done it before. Well, who has?
Well, let's cut to the chase, though. They got all this chitter chatter
Yeah.
hearings, but it all comes down to the vote.
Yeah.
And the vote is going to be to where um, on the Senate side, the Republicans are going to hold strong
Yeah.
because that's what they need to do
Yeah.
because we got to get this thing wrapped up,
Most,
underway,
yeah,
and
there are
move
some
on.
question marks on this on the Senate side. There, we got a margin there of 47, 43, I think, something like that. And there are about 3 or 4 senators who are always Susan Collins in Maine,
Well,
Murkowski in Alaska, the knucklehead in Utah who
they're going to toe
took
the line. It's just like what
they
happened.
better
Yeah,
toe the line.
they got
So
to.
yeah, all this rigmarole that they go through, it all comes down to a vote, and I believe Hegseth along party lines will be voted in, and then he's going to rock and roll. So it's if you get a chance to watch it, you can go to YouTube anytime throughout the day, in the evening, whatever, and just say Hegseth hearings, and you can listen to whatever clip you want.
Right.
I just listened to Elizabeth Warren, before we just came over here, and oh my goodness, the woman couldn't tie a shoe, and she's questioning a guy, a military. I mean, the dude is a warrior, and you remember Elizabeth Warren when she ran for president? I don't know, 4 years ago, drinking beer, trying to act like she was drinking beer in the kitchen with her husband. It was so ridiculous. But that's who we've got questioning these people. The thing about Tulsi is not as strong, and she's strong, but I don't know that she'll be as cavalier as Hegseth and Cash Patel, who's another type of warrior,
Right.
who will put it right back in these guys and ladies on the Senate will put it right back in your face. It'll be interesting to see how Tulsi handles herself.
Okay, we
So
got two other little things plus
the
this.
fires.
So
Can you believe what's happening out
let's
there?
let's do to these other subjects, and let's do
Okay.
our streaming shows and stuff on the next
We
week
can do that
on
on the next
Thursday.
one, although I am going to mention something about it today. But
All right.
so the fires in California, what your observations? You've seen it, right? You've seen the clips, you've seen the news.
Well,
What do you think?
tell you the one that bothered me a lot is when they were asking something to the mayor, uh, and she says, "Don't you dare begin to politicize this." And I'm thinking, well, if you think that asking hard questions about preparedness is politicizing it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah.
And boy, um, it was the perfect storm of things that could happen wrong in bad preparation.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave you the perfect storm of the worst thing ever. I mean, it was days and days and days that they were at 100% not contained. And then they finally found their way to 10 or 12. What's the latest number
I think
now?
the most one of the fires is well on its way to being contained, but it's one of the less lethal
Right.
fires. But 13%, I think last night I heard them talking about. Well, I forget what they name these fires, but one of them is 13%.
Right. And so now they're doing really the only thing that they can do, which is trying to build containment areas where the fire can't jump. And
Right.
we're basically saying if it's in the middle of it, we're just going to let it burn to the ground. And most of it's burned down to the ground anyway.
Well, yeah,
So,
I saw
there's just a
aerial
few.
shots last night on TV. It's just amazing to
Um,
me. And I've had I went to high school in Corona, California, which is in Riverside County, adjacent to LA County, which is about 30 miles from where maybe by traffic about an hour, but by miles about 30 miles. And so I've been in Pacific Palisades. I've driven through that, and those are incredibly beautiful homes atop a mountain overlooking the ocean,
right.
and it is decimated now. And the thing about Bass and Newsom, their fallback is that we're not going to politicize this, and Newsom's blaming everybody but his dog, and it's just sad to watch. And at some point, even the people on the liberal side of things who, they usually vote for DEI and all that stuff, are saying these people got to go. The Bass has got to go. Newsom's got to go. How can Newsom ever run for president? He will, but how can he ever run for president with this ball and chain around his
Well, our
ankle?
man Ronald Reagan went from being a great governor to a great president, but I don't know if we're interested in somebody going from mediocre to poor governor. We don't need a mediocre to poor president. We've already had that happen once.
Yes, we
You
have
know,
6 more days, 7 more days.
I remember hearing talk about $17 million a year being cut from the
Hmm.
fire budget. Now, we've had enough controversy in our recent times, about police budgets and what they call it,
Defunding.
defunding the police,
Yeah.
and that seems to have mostly gone away. But I never heard of anybody defunding the firemen in a day when so many jobs. It used to be used car salesman was the worst job, and lawyer was highly respected. Now,
Yeah.
now people got the lawyer jokes about running over the lawyer.
Yeah.
The number of professions that continue to garner huge respect. I think all the single girls in the world would love to be married to a fireman.
Yeah.
Okay, I think a fireman is one of the most respected positions there is in any state, country, and across the world.
Yeah.
And for them to not only they didn't save $17 million, they reallocated it to a bunch of terrible causes. And
One is
so
one of them.
don't talk about deep
One
politicizing it.
one of them is they reallocated money to homeless issues, which I'm all for helping the homeless, but the homeless population in LA is as bad as it's ever been. So allocating money, reallocating money is not that's not necessarily, particularly from the fire department, to helping the homeless. It sounds admirable, but not when one suffers catastrophic
Right.
and the other doesn't improve. You kind of lost on both sides here, and
And I did
so
not mean to say I didn't know about the homeless. I'd
yeah,
heard about some other bad causes, and let's not drag through them.
yeah,
But,
yeah. I don't know the other
um,
ones, but yeah, that's what's happened. All right, and so uh, let's talk about the best streaming services real quick, and we'll do it as a tease for our next discussion. Here's what my wife and I most recently have watched. All right, Landman just had the finale the other day. Did you
world
watch
class,
it?
world class.
Did you watch the finale? The season's finale was on Sunday night. Have you watched it yet?
No,
What are you waiting on?
not the Jerry Jones one. I don't know.
No, that's the one before.
Yeah, we had a bit. We lead busy retired lives. Okay.
Well, look, have you the
No.
finale is where Billy Bob gets his Billy butt beat up. So you'll know it, but when that happens, that's
Again,
all I'll
you
say.
mean again?
Well, no, this one's
He's
yeah,
had.
he's had it before, but this one you'll
Okay.
know it.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
so we watched Landman, Lioness,
Linus, love it.
Rock and Roll. That's a great one. Presumed Innocent. That's a really good one with Jake. I can never say his last name. I can doll something. Uh, really, really good plot. American Primeval. We just started that one. That one is about the Mormons, about a lady and her son trying to get to their husband in the her husband and his dad in the 1800s through Utah, and it
Okay.
is vicious. It is
Okay.
along the lines of 1883 or 1887, whatever.
Lost picture.
It is, yeah, he lost his screen, bud. It is vicious but good. So, and then Mindhunter, which is really good, and then the one we watched last night that we're having to watch one at a time because we don't save up, is called The Agent with Richard Gere.
So when you say streaming, does that mean
That
Netflix or
means
Paramount?
Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, Prime Video. What are the other ones? I think that's most of them. So we
Okay.
don't do the. I don't know if it's just because whatever reason, but we don't do the television series.
Well, we're traditionalists, and we do. I remember.
No, you're too cheap to buy the streaming services. That's what.
No, we have Paramount, we have Netflix, and we have Hulu.
Okay.
Okay,
I thought you didn't have Netflix.
I got it for the fight. I got it
Good.
for the fight,
Good.
and that's where we watched Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh yeah, Lincoln Lawyer's a
Okay,
good one.
and we are immersed. We just finished episode 3 of Virgin River,
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
which is mostly like a soap opera, but it's kind of fun. Um, So we won't save this for another segment. I'm going to run through this fast. I'm
All
going to
right.
tell you though, a long time ago when I was raising my daughter by myself, I'm standing in the line at the grocery store and I see TV Guide, which we used to get in the mail, and it says, "Here's the 10 best shows nobody's watching." And I look at it. Number one is Gilmore Girls. Okay, and it's got Lauren, who's the beautiful
You'll know, but
Lauren.
Laura, I don't. Bacall.
No, the actress. It's a mother daughter show that my daughter didn't mind if I had a crush on the mother here, and it turned out to be one of the biggest shows on TV for a long time. And that reminds me that there's still good stuff on network. Here's 2 great half-hour shows. This Abbott Elementary.
Half hour. I can't. That's not
Ha-
long enough.
Well, I got long ones too.
Oh.
Half-hour Abbott Elementary hilarity about a public school in Philadelphia, almost 100% black cast,
Yeah.
funny as can be. And this animal control will leave you in stitches. I think this is season 2. It's by the same people that did The Office and what's the other show like that?
Ted Lasso.
No, The Office and
Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Recreation.
yeah.
It's got some of the same roaring, roaring humor in that thing.
Is it about animal control officers?
An animal
officer?
control department out in Seattle. And after the show, I'm going to tell you about the classic line in the first show that I don't want to repeat here because
All
it's not swearing, but it's just
Yeah,
we're not going to get into
we're
full hour
G-rated.
full hour shows. Tracker.
Oh, my wife loves Kevin. His name is not Kevin, but that's what he was in This Is Us.
Yes.
The star.
The
Yeah.
star from This Is Us. His job,
Lauren Graham.
Lauren Graham. Oh my God, what a beauty! Oh my God. Tracker. So he goes around in his Airstream. He had some strange experiences growing up with his father, and his job is he's a hired guy to track down missing people, and he's got a couple people that get them all set up on these jobs,
hmm
and he goes all over the country, and he gets anywhere between 10, 25, $30,000.
It's good.
It's one lost person per show. It is unbelievably
And
good.
it's an hour-long show.
It's an hour
Do
long
they
show.
swear in those shows that are network anymore? I mean,
I don't think much. No.
okay.
Okay. Found is quite a story about a woman who was kidnapped by her teacher in youth and kept in a basement forever and then finally escaped. And she grows up and she starts this nonprofit to help find missing people.
Yeah.
It's very good. High Potential
Never heard of it.
is about a gal that's raising 3 kids, and she's kind of ditzy, but she's a genius. And she stumbles into the police department one time because she actually gets hauled in for something she shouldn't have been hauled in for. And when she gets out, she walks through the police department heads, and she notices everything. And then she just gives this quick summary about how she knows who did the killing, even though they don't. And they go, what?
Yeah.
And then it turns out all that stuff's true. It is a very, very good show. Accused is about people who are falsely or unfalsely accused. It's a very nice show.
Yeah.
The Floor, which of course you and I have
That's a
talked about,
great game
is
show.
a game show. That's
Rob Lowe.
and so you don't say you never watch network because you told me you watched
Well,
The
yeah,
Floor
I
the other
watch
day.
game show.
And of course, we still like 911, and we still
Never
like
seen it.
911 Lone Star,
Never seen it.
and we watch all that stuff regularly. Plus, we've taken on the load of things like Lincoln Lawyer
Well,
and Virgin River,
I
and
mean, really and truly, in the wintertime, I'm not one to get out in the cold.
yeah,
And so, and our house is being renovated or whatever you want to call it now. So we live
I've
in
been hearing about that for quite a while.
oh my gosh, it's driving us
Is there a
crazy.
finished product coming up?
Getting there. They painted yesterday, and then they'll be doing floors and cabinets and backdrops and whatever else Sonia's got all set up. But anyway, so we live in our bedroom, and thankfully it's big and spacious, so it's cool. But it's cold, and our house is being renovated. So, and now that sports winding down,
Right.
we watch a lot of these shows. But anyway, now we get to hear about one of our sponsors. Sammy's going to tell you all about Cancun's.
The commercial debut of Sammy
Cancun's.
Brooks.
I gotta leave y'all on this screen because something happened, but you got Cancun's right above Jeff's head. Cancun's is a great breakfast, lunch, and dinner spot here in Waxahachie. It is located on 77, about 2.5 miles north of 287 on the west side. It has a beautiful building, and like my dad says, it's a Tex-Mex, so you have plenty of options to choose from. If you download our Down Home app on the App Store or Google Play Store, you can check the coupon corner, and if you spend $20 at Cancun's, which you will, you get a free order of their great sopapillas. Very nice people and a great experience all around. Go check out Cancun's.
Very good, Sam.
They're not going to
The
miss you one
natural.
bit doing that commercial, are they?
No, they're so glad we don't have to listen to me ramble through it. Very
Right.
good,
A
Sam.
fresh
All right.
voice from the
All right.
wilderness.
We got just a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about a big trial going on in America today, and that is the trial of a guy named Zachary Young, who was a guy who, when Afghanistan, we had the awful withdrawal. I believe that was in 2022, I believe, or 23, when we did it backwards, basically the opposite of the way that it should be done. And as you all, most of you all will remember, those folks trying to get out of Afghanistan were jumping on an airplane as though they were going to survive hanging onto a wing, and any other way they could get out. Zachary Young is a man, and he's American, but he lives in Austria now. But he is a guy who had a strategy and ways of getting people out of Afghanistan. But he charged $14,500 per person to get out of. He would provide you the way out and a visa when you got here. So that was the deal. And evidently, there are a number of people at that time, and probably still today, that offer those services. Well, CNN, in all its brilliance, decided it would do a story on what they framed as the black market of these people who were essentially bilking Afghanis or anybody else in Afghanistan that wanted to get out of lots of money that most couldn't pay for. And as a result, the implication was, they used the words black market. So that wasn't an implication, but the implication was these are scumbag people offering services to get people out of war-torn areas, combat areas, in order to save their life. So CNN ran this 3-minute segment, and in there they included Zachary Young's picture and used him as the poster boy for what they were positioning as being people in a black market, unfair, greedy, nasty approach to helping people. So Zachary Young is suing CNN for $100 million. Well, it got through the hurdles of a judge looking at the facts of it all and saying he did nothing illegal. He did nothing criminal. Same thing, I guess. He did nothing wrong, in essence, and it can go to trial. So now it's in the 6th or 7th day of trial, and you can
And so
watch
this
it.
is a defamation case
Yeah.
against CNN.
for $100 million.
And I've answered, I reread this, and it answers the question I was about to ask. Like, how come I'm not hearing more about it? Well, it's because
It's a
it's a
left-leaning
legacy media thing.
being sued, and so I'm watching it. I'm intrigued with anything that has to do with politics and courtrooms, and so I'm watching it. And Jake Tapper, it was on Jake Tapper's show that this all happened 4 months after it happened, which was I can't remember the month, but 4 months after it happened, CNN ran an apology on but said by somebody else on air, apologize for the show, for the whatever it is they felt they'd done wrong. But now they're in court defending themselves. And yesterday they had on a guy named Alex Marquardt. I think is how you say his name, Marquardt, who was the or the actual reporter, journalist, if you will, on the scene to basically tell the story, and the one who had engaged with this Zachary Young the most. And it was fascinating. It was fascinating to listen to Zach Young's attorneys have this guy on the stand. He was on the stand all day on direct and redirect, and so it was fascinating to listen to this guy, smug, in my opinion, arrogant. You know, he continued to say when asked, "I don't think we've done anything wrong. I don't think we owe an apology." The whole his most of his testimony was continuing to label this guy, Zach Young, the one who provided the services, as being some slime ball, and it was an incredible thing to
After you
watch.
put out an apology, you're fighting an uphill
Yeah,
battle.
and that's why I think he kept saying, "I don't think, it wasn't my decision to do the apology, and I don't think we should have done an apology. This doesn't deserve an apology." But I mean,
Yeah.
in text messages and in emails, he, the reporter, telling the story,
Right.
is writing to his colleagues about Zachary Young, calling him, "We're going to get this MFer. We're going to take him down. We're going to expose him," calling him all kinds of vulgar names, and then got on the stand and at one point said, "I don't have anything against Zachary Young." And uh, I mean, I find myself trying to be the attorney on. I'm like, ask him, what is that? What you call most of your friends? Is that what you call people that you don't have a problem
Mm-hmm.
with? Those kinds of vulgar,
Mm-hmm.
really vulgar. It's a fascinating trial. If I were a betting man, I would say that CNN's going to lose this. I don't know if it'll be 100 million, but that there's 6 jurors and 2 alternates. We'll see how it ends. It should be wrapping up later this week. But if you want to watch it, you can also go to YouTube, put in CNN defamation trial. You'll see it pop up. Zachary Young, you'll see his picture probably, and then you can choose to listen to any of the back and forth, whether it's the opposing attorney or your own attorney. In this case, Zach's attorney, uh, Zachary Young, took the stand. He was the first one to take the stand. Really fascinating, and it's an example of how cavalier and arrogant and smug the legacy media we're talking about, national media, is. I mean, CNN oozing and dripping with this kind of smug, just narcissism. So, anyway, all right. Sammy has another commercial with our second sponsor. You got it, bud?
That was quick.
Yep, that was quick.
Give me
We
one
kind of
second.
got all
We're playing
discombobulated.
catch up ball because we got a lot
Yeah.
left to do.
So we got Mr. Rooter. I was actually getting gas yesterday morning and had a van pull up right next to me at the pump.
Yeah.
So they're all over here in Waxahachie. They're also all over in America. But this is what you will expect should you call Mr. Rooter. They do residential and commercial work. You are always going to get licensed experts. They're going to arrive on time and keep your house clean with mats and shoe covers. They are friendly to every client. They always provide a price before they start, and they can also do remodeling. You can call at 469-240-3113 or reach them on the web at mrrooter.com/Waxahachie.
Thank you, bud.
It's nice to have this little vacation
Yeah,
from
it is.
talking, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
it is.
like
Plus,
it. I like it a lot.
the viewers don't have to listen to us talk.
That's that too, yeah.
All right, so we got 5 random thoughts from the mind of Jeffrey Lynch.
I didn't think of all these. A lot of them I just have heard, and I just got this the other day, and I really liked it. Russell Wilson is trying to decide between Cancun and Cabo for his vacation this week and
I
next.
can't bear to watch him. I just can't. It's like watching Sam Darnold. They're in quicksand. They're in quicksand when they play.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
This one came when I made one of my typical miscue statements to my wife, and she called me out on it. I said, honey, if I had half a brain, you would love me twice as much. And it's all true. I heard this the other day. I think this is an old Yiddish expression, but when I heard somebody say it, I thought I've heard this a million times, and I just like the way it flows. From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
You
That's
heard
that
it, right?
same- oh yeah,
Yeah.
from my mouth to God's ears, or
Yeah.
from your mouth to God's ears. Yeah.
One of the classics of the late great Tom Lynch. Understand me and don't misunderstand me.
Yeah.
And then when you hear that, you're all ears.
Yeah.
You are
There's
all
a
ears.
difference between not understanding somebody and misunderstanding
Yeah,
somebody.
don't understand me and don't misunderstand me. And usually when he said when you're saying goodbye, going on a trip or just away for the day, stay close to the Lord.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah,
We were talking a lot about that in our Bible school class. Just stay close and share Him with others. It's
Yep.
so important. My dad, we should at some point have a little segment on our dad's sayings.
Isms.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of them, and I want to talk about this later, but my dad used to say, he's got more sense than Carter's got liver pills. And I'm like, I know I've looked that up before, but I can't remember what I've discovered. But I don't, that doesn't even make any, I mean, I don't,
well,
Carter must have been
there was a product called Carter's liver pills.
okay, well,
Yeah, that's what it
but
is.
you got more sense than Carter has liver pills. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a compliment or if that was calling me out. All right. Are we ready?
This screen's still black.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it came back and then it's black again. There it is.
Here it
back.
is.
So we got football season's winding down. We
All
got
right.
3 more weeks of, actually 4 more weeks, I think, of NFL because they'll have a week break. The Super Bowl between the conference championships and the Super Bowl.
So wait, is the championship Monday? This Monday after this
Yep.
weekend? The
The
college football?
NCAA. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to talk about that too, and then we'll talk about the NFL playoffs. Let's start with the NCAA. So we got my Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who I predicted from the get-go. I predicted them to play Arizona State, which I still argue should have at least made it to the next round after essentially beating Texas.
And that's your only loss, right? This whole bracket. You have one wrong.
Well, yeah, but that one wrong then threw me out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm Notre Dame. Sammy, who'd you have?
I had Oregon winning it, but since they got
No, who'd you have Oregon playing?
I'm not sure.
Well, you were both on wrong. You had
No.
both of them wrong.
Yeah.
I had Oregon playing Texas and Oregon winning.
Yeah, so you're a loser.
I'm a loser, but I got Ohio State beating Notre Dame, which they will.
That's the Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Thank you.
The Fighting Irish. And you had who in the finals?
I had the Fighting Irish and I had SMU, which was
Oh, so you still had the Fighting Irish too.
yeah.
I misspoke at the beginning of the show because I thought I was the only one that had a legitimate pick. I didn't jump on anybody's bandwagon.
No, I had
You had
SMU going through, and so I
Notre Dame.
and I had
Yeah.
Texas coming through on the other side. So
Oh,
I had Texas all the way. I had
so
Texas all the way and Texas to win it.
got it.
So,
And so now who you picking?
well, you always got to pick against the Big Ten, and Catholic boy would be pretty hard pressed not to take Notre Dame. So I'm
Yeah.
taking the mother of our Lord's University. Yeah.
Sammy's got Ohio State.
I got Ohio State.
The Ohio State, I think the betting lines was when it first came out, like 13.
I mean, these two defenses, both of them, are two of the best in the country, literally. So
You know
Shifting
what?
gears on betting lines, or do we want to talk more about NCAA?
Well, no, I want to talk about NFL, but we'll use this as a segue. Last night, Sammy comes home, or no, maybe it was before you left.
yeah,
Yeah, it was before you left. And we were talking about the game last night, the Minnesota and who'd they play?
Rams.
The Rams. And Sammy picking the Rams. And Sammy said, I said, how many points you think the Rams are going to win by? And you said 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, give me Minnesota plus 14 for steak dinner.
Wait, who won?
Well, you never took the bet.
Uh-huh.
No, you didn't.
I
No,
said,
I ain't buying that.
I
No,
said you add
didn't.
100, or I'll give you
No,
a steak.
Was
no.
there a handshake involved?
No.
Then there's no bet.
There's no
But
bet.
who won, though, if
there's no
Sammy
bet?
said, Dad, will you pay me $100 more this week and pay my paycheck if Minnesota doesn't cover? And I said, only if you will let me take $100 off if they do, and saying no, no, no,
Well,
no,
you switched up the argument. At first, you said you wanted a steak dinner, so I had to get my side.
no, yeah.
But
Well, you would have won.
so I did win if we would have shook on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Because what was the final score?
27-9.
Okay, yeah. So 13-9 is 22. You'd have still won.
Can we switch to the Ohio State game?
Yeah. What do you want to do there? How many points do you think Ohio
Or
State's going?
same. I think Ohio State's gonna win by
All right,
14.
give me Notre Dame.
At
And,
14?
Yeah.
all right. So for a steak dinner, you can choose. I get Notre Dame plus 14
What
against
do I get?
nothing. You
What
get Ohio State's final score.
if I win?
You get a steak dinner at
Oh,
the
okay.
place
So
you're
okay.
choosing.
Okay. Deal.
You want to know it?
No.
Oh, all right. So y'all heard it here. All right. So let's talk about the NFL.
So I sent you a text on Sunday about a couple of items, including, it was 7-7 after 6 minutes in the game or something.
game was it?
In the Bills game.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
said,
you said it was gonna be
so the
covered
line on
47.
that game was 47.5. I said, well, I sure like the over on that. And then
Didn't happen, did it?
it didn't. And I looked at the end of the day, all three. Hi, honey.
Yeah. So it didn't cover. It didn't cover the over.
All three of the overs were not covered.
Really?
All the unders won. And the other thing was I'd read an article on Saturday that the odds makers were having a tough time this year because, especially like the last third of the season, favorites were winning everything just in
Really?
the regular season
All right.
games.
Well,
and
so
then the favorites, how'd that hold up here in the weekend?
yeah, this past weekend, I think that the
Well,
I don't know.
Tampa Bay was the favorite, and they lost.
Yeah, Terry says watch
Okay.
out for the Commanders. They could surprise some people. Yeah, the challenge they've got is playing Detroit in Detroit.
I think they already did surprise some people.
Yeah,
First playoff win since 2006.
I mean, that game the other night, was it last night? Yeah, no,
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, was surprising. I
Yeah.
mean, the Commanders. I mean, Dan Quinn. That they're 12. Are they 12-5 or 11-5?
He's
Something.
doing a good job with
Oh,
that
yeah.
club, isn't
They
he?
flipped their record. They went 5-12 last year.
It's a huge
All
reversal.
right, so we
Huge.
got Washington and Detroit, which that game is Saturday at 7 p.m. Who y'all got there?
You got to go Detroit. I just don't. I don't think Jaden Daniels can get it done in Detroit.
Terry, when you say watch out for the Commanders, are you picking the Commanders?
In Detroit, Terry.
What about you, Jeff?
Oh, I gotta go for Dan Campbell and his Detroit team. And Washington's great, and to turn their season around and to win that game is great. But the road ends in Motown,
Yeah.
baby.
All right, the
Yeah.
road ends for the Commanders in Motown. I got the same thing. Detroit. My guess is Detroit's going to win by, I don't know, 10.
I got a hot take coming up though. Whenever we get.
All right, well, let's go back to the other Saturday game. So on Saturday at 3:30, the Texans go to Kansas City to play Kansas City. I looked at the weather for Saturday in Kansas City. It's going to be in the 20s, I believe. That game's at 3:30, so it won't be cold. It won't be dark, which means it would be colder if it were. So we got the Texans, who I don't know if they beat the Chargers or the Chargers just beat themselves. I mean, that was another ugly game. I mean, I loved Justin Herbert, but he was another guy in quicksand. I mean, he just couldn't move and he couldn't throw the ball. He had 4 interceptions.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
one of them wasn't his fault, but still.
Yeah.
Number one, Houston, KC's a better team. Number two, Houston is from a hot weather city, and to go into a cool Kansas City. And number three, the tailgating at KC is like none other. And that 2:30, you wonder if whether a 2:30 crowd can be liquored. I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
Bloody Marys at 9, screwdrivers, beer all morning long. That is a liquored crowd at 9:30. It's going to be rabid, and it's
All
going to
right.
be all
So
KC.
you got Kansas City, Sammy?
I got Kansas City.
Here's the thing about Kansas City. Kansas City has lost before at home to the team in the playoffs that they should have beat. I I'm going to be the odd one out here. I'm going to go Texans in an upset over Kansas City.
Wow.
You got to think about it, Dad.
I thought about it.
CJ Stroud threw 20 touchdowns, 12 picks. They got no wide receivers. They got Stephon and Tank Dell out.
Texans in a squeaker.
No.
All right. On Sunday at 2 p.m., we've got the Green. Oh, no, we don't. We have the LA Rams at Philadelphia. So we got a hot Rams team, really hot Rams team with a star quarterback from Highland Park.
I love Matthew Stafford.
And we've got the Eagles, who have been solid all year, with a quarterback from Katy, Texas, also via Alabama and Oklahoma, and Jalen Hurts. So who do we? Oh, look, Terry's telling me no way. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. You're probably right, but why not be different? All right. So Eagles, Sammy, Eagles or the Rams?
The LA Chargers couldn't get it done for LA. LA is only gonna get it done in Philadelphia. They're gonna win the bowl.
Oh my God.
I already picked a team, but if I could
Speaking of
switch,
tailgating and drinking,
the Rams are gonna win the Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. We'll get to that in a little bit.
My wife
All
and
right.
I are going to Margaritaville towards the end of the year, and I'll take any money you want. Put down a
You
legal
going to
bet.
Margaritaville,
Okay.
Key West?
No, in Shreveport.
Oh, you gotta go. We ought to all just pack up and go to Key West one of these days. All right. What do you got, Jeff?
I'm gonna. Well, the Rams are playing on the short week, and their adrenaline is about to run out, and they are a warm weather team, and I don't think they can handle the Eagles in the cold, in the tush push, and I'm Eagles.
All right. I'm going Rams.
Two of you.
LA
Yep.
needs a team. LA Chargers couldn't get it done.
I
Rams are
think
gonna get it done.
that ends the road for the Rams, but
Yeah.
okay. And then, as you can see,
Terry said Rams in an upset. Like that, Terry.
yeah, I'm with Terry on that. My equally favorite team in my life is the Bills. Are the Bills, and so we got the Bills at home versus the Ravens at 5:30 on Sunday. It will be in the 20s in Buffalo. I don't think snow is forecasted. We know the Ravens are used to that. They play in cold weather as well. So I think these cold weather games, I think the cold weather is the reason for the unders.
I think so
Okay.
too. I think
So we
too.
have the Bills versus the Ravens, MVP candidate versus MVP candidate. Who do y'all got, Sammy?
Not only is that going to decide the MVP, I think Jake Bass is going to kick a game-winning field goal for the Bills
Okay.
to win it.
I'm with the Bills also. And
I'm with the Bills.
Speaking of kicks, did you notice? I think I got this game right. I think it was with the Bills when they got that, not the late field goal to go ahead. Who's the guy that kicked the field goal and it hit the right upright and it went boing, yoing, 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 and they showed the replay and the point of the ball hit square.
Was it the one that was loud?
Yeah.
I remember.
Was it good or no good?
It was no good.
It was no good. I remember
Yeah.
that. It was so loud. Kennedy looked at me and she was like, "What was that?"
What was that?
Tomato.
You know, and I said to Rita, when you watch a hockey game, you always hear that ting,
Uh-huh.
and there's so many different ting sounds
Yeah.
depending on where it hits the pipe and how it hits the pipe. But I've
Yeah.
never heard the sound of a ball reverberating like that one.
All right.
That was wild.
It was
Yeah,
powerful.
that was. I did see that. I don't remember who
Yeah.
it was. All right, real quick, we'll do this again come next week. But if right now, the way I've said it, I would have the Texans versus the Bills and the Lions versus the Rams.
Okay, so Texans Bills.
Texas Bills.
I got the Bills.
Well, okay, we're not making conjections on
Yeah, we
games
are. We're gonna make.
no.
I am.
We don't have time for that.
Who you got in the Super Bowl?
Well, you got to help me think. I got the Rams,
Okay.
and they're on the. I
They're
get
in the
confused.
NFC.
I have the Bills going to the
All
Super
right,
Bowl.
so you got the Bills and the Rams, and
Yeah.
the Rams beating the Bills.
Yes.
You naughty. I raised you
Is
better.
Matthew Stafford not the best?
All right, let's see. Sonia.
That's what I'm saying.
Huh? It's because she thinks the coach is cute, I think. He's a little
That's a
dweeb.
legitimate reason.
Anyway,
for a woman.
Terry.
And Terry's got Buffalo. There you go, Terry. I'm talking. That's what we're talking about. So in my Super Bowl, I've got the Bills and the Lions, and the Bills winning it. Who do you have in your Super Bowl?
I got the Bills and the Lions and the Bills winning it too.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. That's our predictions for this coming weekend.
It's gonna be a good
Very
one.
exciting stuff. Yes.
gonna
All
be a good
right.
one.
So now it's time. Do we have time for a poem?
We can squeeze one in.
All right,
It
you got to
won't be
read
too
it
long.
fast. So we
Short
got to
one.
get to our this
Page
day in history.
27.
We got
No,
one
not
more
27.
sponsor
What-
too.
what? Losing.
All right, Sammy.
I
After
thought it
this,
was
we'll do our
appropriate because we're
sponsor.
talking about winning and losing. Here we go.
All right.
Losing is winning in certain types of games. It's not all about glory. It's not about fame. A simple games of cards with unimportant regards. A loss to your wife could be good for your
Pause.
life.
Oh.
Thank you. Let me begin. It's not about the win. It's all about the play and having fun today. When your honey asks to play cards, consider this. Of all the things she could do, he just wants time with
you.
you. Thank you. Of course, we play to win, be it cribbage or gin, but a loss is not tragic, nor is a victory magic. You're slow, Scott.
Yeah.
These are predictable lines. It's our special time together with no cares about the weather. Simply play the cards you're dealt, and your love will be
better.
felt. Dude,
Oh.
rhyme a little bit. I got second graders that do better than this. I guarantee you.
All right.
And third graders and eighth graders.
All right,
and
Sammy, our
all
last
kinda guys.
sponsor.
Oh
let
my
me get
God.
Pier 7 up for you guys. 1
You're weak.
second.
I am weak.
You're weak.
Right above Jeff's head is a beautiful picture of Pier 7. If you love seafood, Pier 7 is definitely the way to go. They are located on I-35 about 10 minutes north of Waxahachie. You won't miss their big Pier 7 sign. They're in a popular area and have great service with a fun bar and an outstanding food. They have great deals like spend 30 and get 12 calamari, spend 50 and get one order of egg rolls, spend 100 and get a free order of shrimp fried rice. If you find yourself wanting some great seafood, head over to Pier 7.
Preach it. Sammy, what's calamari?
Squid.
Very good.
Nice
I'm
job.
impressed. You're learning.
Nice job.
All right.
Okay.
How'd you do this morning?
6 and 2.
Ooh.
6 and
I'm
2.
coming off a 9 and 1.
And this is there's no bonuses. This is eight different clues we got.
What do you mean there's no bonuses?
No, I
You
received
didn't get
I
any. I
received
could
them.
get a bonus.
Do you still put the rules up? Okay. So we all know how to play. You know, I was thinking today about the greatness of how this is set up. When you get 7 on either side, that's really, you're getting a 15-year range.
Yeah.
Who can complain? If you can't get in 15 years, you don't deserve
Yeah,
it.
except when we go back to the 1600s.
Well,
we ought to
ma-
have like 200.
Well,
on each
I'm
side.
gonna throw Sam a bone and say we're going back to the 1700s here.
All right, yeah.
In case you
We're
didn't know.
starting in the 1700s?
Yeah, in case you didn't know when
We
the
need about a 40-year span on each of those.
The United States ratified the Treaty of Paris, ending the Revolutionary War. Britain followed suit in April. Let's remember, we were also fighting the French, not just the British. Little known fact.
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah.
The United States ratified the Treaty of Paris, ending the Revolutionary War. Britain followed suit in April.
1746.
1746.
1752.
Give it to me, Jeff.
1784. Come on,
Oh.
guys.
Dang, Jeff.
That hurts.
Jumping back into the 1900s. I don't usually give you guys
No, that's
these breaks.
good, though. That helps.
NBC's Today Show premiered with Dave Garroway as host.
74. 1974.
1962.
1952.
Wow. Dang, dude.
0 for 2.
That's early.
That ain't good.
George C. Wallace was sworn in as governor of Alabama with the pledge, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Let me tell
A
you.
view he later repudiated.
Yeah, I was living in Alabama when George Wallace was active, and I
Yeah.
think he was still governor, and his son came on the scene. Just awful people. I would say
He was a loser, wasn't
He
he?
was awful. 1974.
I was going to go with Terry, but I'll go 1975.
Oh, I didn't see Terry.
1963.
I am taking a
Dang, dude.
beating on this thing. What was you? What were you?
6 and 2.
You
6
you
and 2.
cheated.
There's no cheating when your wife's asking. She writes down my years right here to validate what they are.
Yeah. Doug Hussar's weighing in. Not with this. He's asking about egg rolls. We moved on.
The summer of love unofficially began with a human be-in. That's BE-IN, a human be-in involving tens of thousands of young people at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco.
What was the
We had a little be-in
what
in
was
the
the last
summer of love. The last one was 63.
80, 97.
73?
You could not be more clueless.
Dude, that's mean.
Now we got
That's a mean thing to say.
commentating.
I'm sorry.
That's a mean thing to say.
I'm sorry. That was
You
bad.
should like
That was
commentate on the game here.
that's that was like the hippie era and the
What year did you
the
say?
It's
leather
97?
That may be the hippie era to Sam.
1967. I put
All right,
down
I said
68.
70. I
Okay.
can't.
Terry said 69.
69. Terry's hip with the
Way to
hip with
go,
the
Terry.
scene.
I think I said I can't remember what I said now, but I'm giving myself a win. I think I said 73,
Check
Yeah.
the tape. What'd he say?
and I won.
Did you say 73?
Well, we got to go back and watch the show.
We-
again.
Oh my gosh.
We'll do a hanging Chad recount, but I don't think you said 73. Diana Ross and the Supremes performed their last concert together at the Frontier Hotel in Las Vegas.
We are in the 2000s now. It's 2006.
1999.
1970. I didn't tell you you were in the 2000s.
I know. I was just
Okay.
19 what?
1970.
Can we get on with it? Hop in the
Get it on. Here we go.
1 and 4.
U.S. President Bill Clinton, Russian President Boris Yeltsin, and Ukrainian President Leonid Kravchuk signed the trilateral statement, an accord to dismantle the nuclear arsenal of Ukraine. If you all recall, Ukraine was a part of the USSR. They were one of the Soviet Socialist republics at that time.
Well, I'm going to get this right, but I won't. I don't know. The issue is the bonus, Sammy.
Yeah.
What was last date?
Last date was 70. This is when Clinton was in office. Do you know when Clinton was in office? Did you ever hear of a lady
92.
named Monica Lewinsky?
92.
94.
94. The bonus
Yes.
is in effect.
Ooh, I'm making a comeback.
Okay.
Look at Doug Huzar says Jeff's on a mean streak, y'all.
And I'm sorry.
Hey, Rod.
I'm sorry for that.
Christina. Hey,
I'm
Christina.
sorry for
Oh,
that harsh
yeah,
comment, Sam.
Somebody knows you. Says hello to you.
Christina. Oh my gosh. Christina, thank you for checking in. Christina is the manager at Tuscan Slice, and I went in there today to talk about a bad experience that I had there last night. And she came out with $1 million smile, and I told her she reminded me of my mother, and she smiled even more. And I told her the story, and she was so dismayed at the two different things that had gone wrong.
Yeah.
And I gave her my card, and I said, "You need to give us a listen, and if you say say hello,
Well,
I'm
hello,
gonna-
Christina.
and we'd love you to be an advertiser
You
someday."
make a good point. Companies that respond to negative stuff
Exactly.
right away and handle it well are better than they were before the problem ever existed. And that's what is so important. Businesses fail to see that.
I loved Tuscan Slice before I ever went there. I'd never had a bad experience.
Yeah.
They have the finest Alfredo sauce in the world, and she made good. And,
Yeah,
and,
good.
And the gift card's in my pocket right now, and it's for more than I spent.
Cool.
Here we go. Rapper. I always say this wrong. Eminem. No. Go ahead and tell me I'm so lame. I'm so lame.
Kennedy, clip that. Kennedy, video that.
I can see it. Enema. Did I get it right that time? What is it?
And oh my God, Eminem. All right, we only got a word.
Remarried Kim Matthews in Detroit. He filed for divorce 82 days later. Say it right. You can't say it either.
Eminem. 2019. Oh my God.
18.
2006.
Oh man.
And there's a bonus available on this one because
We
Rita
got
has
one
this
more.
underlined right here. Cyclist Lance Armstrong ended a decade of denial by confessing to blank
Yes.
during a videotaped interview that he'd used performance-inducing drugs to win the Tour de France 7 consecutive times. Who did he have that interview with? Lance Armstrong confessed about using the performance.
that. I
remember
I don't know who
Katie
he had that.
Couric. I don't know.
I went Diane Sawyer. It was
Oh.
Oprah.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Oprah. So what year was that
oh, that would have been
during this interview?
16.
12.
That was my guess. 13 was the answer.
Oh.
Oh, man, I was 4 and 5. All right, some Kennedy says the same one more time. I don't think I heard you.
Kennedy said what?
He wants to hear you say that rapper.
Say it right. Who can say it right?
You say it.
Eminem.
M&M, like the company M&M.
Like the can.
Yeah, like the candy.
All right.
Cinema. All right. I'm gonna give my
We're
my
running
meme of the
long
day.
and
I
you're
know,
loving
but
every
meme
minute
of
of
the
it.
day. He
world.
who blames others has a long way to go on his journey. He who blames himself is halfway there. He who blames no one has arrived. Eat
I like
that
it.
up,
I like it.
Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. All right.
And-
Anything else before we go? Thank you for being here. We had a great time, obviously. And if you ever heard of the rapper, and I'm gonna check him out. Anyway, sign us off, Doug. Jeff.
So much for that New Year's resolution, buddy. That's okay.
I'm better.
Remember, don't write a check you can't cash. Boom.